Hello everyone, welcome back to Through the Window podcast. You're joined with co-hosts Ben, Dan and Joss, and this month or week or day we're speaking about a topic very close to our hearts, and that is mental health with men.
Yes, we are, Ben. It is November and it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, also Movember, and we thought it would be good to sit down and have an open, honest chat about some of our experiences and things that you can do to help get through.
We did, Joss. I overindulged some personal topics of my own, which is a good thing, really, isn't it? Because it means that we're sharing with each other. But yeah, we look forward to you interacting with this content, and have a great day.
Max is on the controls today.
Getting
some
Max.
practice.
Thanks,
well done,
Max.
Max. Thank you, Max.
Is he cut to camera? Did you cut to... Oh, nice.
Nice. And yes, today we thought we would jump into men's mental health because it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Every month is Men's Mental Health Awareness, Joss.
Well, yeah, 100% it should be. So it should always be awareness, but
Stop coming at him, mate.
November
He's
is...
our friend.
I was being a Facebook mum, that was all.
Nice.
Yes.
Obviously, November is known for Movember, or no shave November.
No nut.
No shave November. But officially, it's about, in particular, it was started to prevent or raise awareness around prostate cancer and testicular cancer, as well as male mental health and suicide prevention. Why are you smiling, Dan?
Because I was going to ask some, we need to be serious about it. And I was going to say, have you ever had to go to the doctors and get your prostate examined? I've never had that before, but the closest I've got to it, and I was thinking, do I want to go into detail about this?
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Let's do it. It's awareness, baby.
So I had to go to the doctors once because...
For those of you who don't know, Dan has extremely large
testicles.
Joss's mum will listen to this.
Oh,
But it's all in the name of good health, right?
Yeah.
It's not even related to my testicles.
What? You started on prostate.
Yeah, well, it's slightly different, and I don't even. So basically, I've got what's it called, vitiligo, which makes me look like a leopard. I've got a cheetah. Is it cheetah with spots?
Yeah.
And I had to go to the doctors because I had it on my Johnson, and I thought I need to go get this checked out. So I had to go to the doctors and lay on the bed and pull my trousers down.
How was it?
I was so nervous at the time.
How old were you?
I was like 18, I think.
Wow.
It's pretty funny this because I don't even think my parents know about me having this condition. But I mean, it's fine. Thanks for asking. I'm completely fine.
Good.
I knew that already.
We had this discussion the other day.
I've seen it.
But that was off the record, but this is on the record now. This is live. Everyone's going to know about it. So yeah, I had to go there, and actually it wasn't as bad as I thought. So in relation to that, you shouldn't be afraid, Joss. Or Ben,
I was gonna say,
if you need to go to the doctors and do stuff,
It's better to be
safe
than sorry and get it checked out.
I am one person who hates going to the doctors and seeking treatment. I don't like taking tablets or painkillers or anything. So it took a while. I mean, I had it for over a year before I was like, I should probably get this checked out.
Does it change anything physically about you? Or is it just is it like a cosmetic skin change?
Yeah, it's like a cosmetic skin change. It's like if I was playing Need for Speed and you can customise your car, I would be able to customise that part of me.
Yeah, so you've got custom skin on your Johnson, basically.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
If anything, it's I mean,
you've seen it.
Mine's just one colour,
yeah,
and so is Joss, I imagine.
Yeah. So I'm quite lucky that I have multiple skin tones on me. There.
Yeah.
Do you think I've over divulged information?
I'm just trying to work out where we go from here.
What I was trying to say is that if there are things that you need to get checked out at a doctor's regarding your health, it's mental health awareness, so I've gone pure in on physical health.
That's okay.
But still...
They link, mate.
They link
massively.
How did it affect your mental?
It's also about opening up, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So that's what I'm doing here.
How did it affect your mental health when you realised there was something untoward?
I mean, I must have been very stressed and... probably not stressed. Probably just what the hell is this?
I imagine as an 18-year-old
What the hell?
boy as well, you're quite nervous about something
Actually,
like
yeah,
that.
and playing ice hockey, I was going in the shower with other guys, and I was the only guy in there with a leopard print dick.
Let's call it spotted dick.
Nice.
Nice. Pudding.
Yes, a bit more family friendly, we could say, because it's a dessert.
Yes.
Do not describe it as a dessert, mate.
It's a main
It's
course.
not a dessert for anyone. Or do not relate it to food, okay?
But I guess coming from that point of view, I was obviously quite self-aware in the showers. Why am I different? Why am I different to these people? And actually, it's just like, it's actually really common. We had Gruff in the other day, who has got it. He's got vitiligo, but actually like quite over his hands and on his arms and elsewhere on his body. And we both share a common ground because we both have it on our spotted dicks.
Did you show each other?
No, I didn't.
Were
But
you
like, there
tempted?
was because Max and I were in the studio. Luke and Max are both. They both don't have spotted dicks.
As far as we know.
Yeah, well, he said he didn't, but I couldn't ask him because, like, you know,
You're his boss.
Whereas Gruff and I do, and we said we should have like a battle royale, like with two v2.
Yeah.
What, the spotted first and honest?
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's my oversharing done.
Out of interest,
Yes, Josh.
did it ever, or has it ever spread to any other part of your body?
It hasn't. No, I think it has got a bit bigger over time.
Mm.
The spottedness.
Is it something that can develop over time? Is that what
Yeah,
it
I think-
typically does?
Yeah, so Gruff said it actually can develop quite, you know, I think it starts for a lot of people. I obviously Google the hell out of it when it first happened. It can start there and it can spread. And I think a lot of people do have it there. It does start there and it does spread across your body. But, I mean, yeah, I'm not too fussed if it does.
What does your partner think about it?
Yeah, she thinks it's cool. She thinks like it's character, isn't it? It's who I am.
I think if I had that, Amber would definitely like nickname it.
I wonder if it would like restrict me from. Well, it's not going to restrict me from doing jobs in the future. But
What sort of jobs are you planning to do?
It's like on the job form. Have you got tattoos, piercings, spotted dick?
No spotted dick allowed.
well, I mean, in nude scenes in films, you never see people with that. I might open more doors for me. You never know. Like,
Are you planning on going into?
TV presenting. They'll be like, we need a naked TV presenter with a spotted dick, and I'll be top of the list because I'm like on the castings.
I don't know how your brain goes to these tangents, mate, but I'm here for it.
I'm glad we're here for it, and I'm glad for anyone at home. If you do have a spotted dick, then power to us.
Let us know. I guess.
I think there's going to be people at home be like, oh shit, I have a spotted dick too.
Don't show us, but check it out. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's purely cosmetic, as far as we're aware.
Yeah. If you see me in the street, don't ask to see it because I'm not going to show you.
It would be kind of cool though if it did spread to other parts. Like, where do you think it would be cool? Like, have it on the hand a little bit.
I've seen like people with it like all over their body.
Yeah.
There's a really famous model called Winnie Harlow, and she's like completely like covered by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
There
you go.
There we go.
It'd be cool if you had like a smiley face on your bum or something of it.
Yeah.
Just random like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, you know, when you go to the beach and sometimes you put suntan lotion on someone, but you draw something funny on their back. It's a bit like that. It's pretty funny.
Josh, have you ever had a prostate test or anything?
I haven't actually, and I was actually, funnily enough, listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy in the last year has had testicular cancer and actually beaten it, and it made me think, oh, I should probably, check when I'm in the shower or whatever more than I do, because you don't really think about it until you hear about someone having it, do you?
Massively.
But no, I've never had a scare or anything like that. Have you?
No.
A good friend of mine actually at hockey called he had testicular cancer and he beat it, and he's actually got a fake ball now.
Really?
And at the time I remember hearing about it, and obviously it's quite a shock, isn't it, when you hear someone that you play hockey with and his friend has it. And he was like fighting it at the time, and his health obviously deteriorated quite quick because of chemo and stuff and trying to fight it. He's fine now, completely fine now, but I think when it's close to home, you're suddenly like, oh shit, I should actually think about being a bit more serious and checking the symptoms.
That's the thing, in that podcast as well, he was saying that especially with testicular cancer, it can basically affect you at any age. I guess typically cancer happens a lot later in life, But testicular, this guy's, I think, similar age to you two, like 27, 28, around there. And I guess the one benefit of it is because it's so common, it's also the most treatable. So obviously you still got to go through chemo and everything, but they're much more equipped to deal with the process of it because it is so common. And he beat it within a year. Nice. Yeah. But I guess the main reason why we've sat down today is to have a sit down, an honest, open chat where we can and where we're feeling comfortable. And I guess the goal is to hopefully encourage some of you at home to do the same. Hopefully it makes you a bit more comfortable and open to discuss these things either with a mate, with a family member, or with a man that's in your life, something like that. So yeah.
You're a man within my life, Dan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All right, thanks for listening.
I guess the first question then to put forward is, what has your experience been with mental health? Have you ever struggled significantly? Obviously, we don't have to talk in detail if you don't want to, but how have you dealt with it, and what was that experience? And did you, I guess, go to the doctors or anything like that for it?
Do you want to start, Dan?
You can start. You can start. I've already divulged a bit. I'll come back to me in 5 minutes. I'll over divulge then as well.
God, okay.
More to come, ladies and gentlemen. More to come.
I remember when I was 23 or 24. It was just before I met Amber, and I woke up in the middle of the night. Well, no, I woke up about 6 in the morning, and I couldn't breathe, and it felt like I was having a heart attack, and at the time, that's all I could think of. That's what it was. It was a heart attack. I couldn't calm down. And what was happening, I was progressively getting worse. That my chest was tight. It was hurting. I couldn't breathe. And those symptoms was getting worse and worse and worse. So I got in my little orange Toyota Aygo, and I literally drove to the hospital at like 90 miles an hour.
Oh, my God.
Because obviously you're just panicking. Because I think, if I don't get there on time, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I'm like almost crying, like driving there because I'm so scared. Like, oh, my God, I could die here. And I get into A&E, park my little Aygo up, and I go to the A&E reception, and I'm just like frantic. I'm like, I can't breathe. I think I'm having a heart attack. I think I'm going to die. Blah blah blah. And they're like, okay, go have a seat. And I'm thinking like, that's not what I want to fucking hear right now. I'm like, I don't want to wait. And I go over to the seat in the A&E room, and I literally collapse on the floor because I can't. It's gotten to that point. And then I think like a nurse or a doctor comes in and sits me down, and they like put like they monitor my heart and all this sort of stuff, and I end up calming down, and I still have no idea like what's caused it. They've never like really explained to me at the time. I later realized down the line it was a panic attack, but I don't really know what caused it, and that then started my journey with anxiety at the time, because I realized I had a panic attack in my bedroom where no one else was there while I was sleeping. So it's like, how do I stop that from happening? I can't stop sleeping, and I can't like stop not being alone, for example. It wasn't like I was like, I was at a football game and it happened. It's like, okay, I'll avoid football games. I can't avoid going to bed. And then that started, you must remember this, Dan, like in desk and stuff, I became really aware of my breathing to the point that I had to think. If I was thinking about my breathing, I was like really conscious about it, and then when I was conscious about it, I couldn't think about anything else. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and if I wasn't thinking about it, I was worried I was going to stop breathing. Yeah, does that make sense? You become hyper aware of it.
I remember at the time you took a couple of days off as well, and it was always, you said, I'm struggling to breathe, like I can't focus on anything else but my breathing. And I remember laughing at you and was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, it's just breathing. What are you talking about? Obviously, I knew about the couple of days before that had happened, but it's quite hard to understand what someone's going through in that way, and what it
was hard to explain because it sounded ridiculous. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about breathing. Yeah, you hear that statement, you think, well, stop. Well, what do you mean you can't
stop thinking about it?
Yeah, you just get into this pattern, and the only time you're calm is when you're not thinking about it. But as soon as you get into bed and it's nighttime, you're about to go to sleep, your brain automatically goes to that, and then that's when the panic can set in. There's a few times at night where I'd almost have a panic attack. I'd have to go for a walk around the block at 1 or 2 in the morning to calm down and try and get to sleep.
So you've had that feeling since. You haven't got to that stage again, but you've had that kind of overwhelming feeling coming, like, oh my God, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I've got to the point where I could feel it building, and I've managed to calm it down. Another time it did happen is I was on a flight to Iceland, and I was in the window seat, and we were like just about to take off, and I could feel it like building again, and I couldn't. It didn't really matter what I did because I was like locked into a window seat. Two people beside me, very like sardines. It was really hard to like maintain the fear, as it were.
Yeah.
And this is still when I was very young in understanding what was actually going on and not really realizing it was anxiety, and the fear of a panic attack is what was causing the panic attack. So that I had nothing to fear. The fear was irrational. It wasn't like I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared of the plane going down. I wasn't scared of flying or anything like that. I was just scared of having that feeling of driving to the hospital and how much pain I was in, and the fear that was there. I was scared of that happening, and because of that, it just it cycles up. And I was getting to like towards the peak when the plane was taking off, and I was like breathing really heavily. And this like gorgeous Greek woman who was next to me, she's like put her hand on my lap. She's like, "Calm, are you okay?" And then she just took me out of it, and we just started talking. And then I was like, I calmed down a bit. Never thanked her really for that, but
what a hero.
Yeah, she was really nice, and she kind of took me out of it. And I remember when I was flying back from Iceland as well, I was petrified of it happening again, and luckily it didn't. I ended up having like all 3 seats to myself, so I had like a lot of like breathing room, and I was completely fine. Nice. But I had to like listen to like I had to put my headphones on and listen to music and like close my eyes and just really focus on the music and just nothing else. Yeah. Like anything from like metal to like Charles Benson to like just really weird genres of stuff that I knew I could focus on, and it was consistent and engaging enough that I wouldn't turn off to it.
Yeah.
And that obviously took me down a journey, because then I was like, fuck, I can't fly anymore. Like, I've now got this fear that every time I get on a plane, I'm gonna have a panic attack. Which happened a few times. We went on a National Trust shoot, so I was like, I have to have an aisle seat. I have to have an aisle seat, because I don't want to be locked into the window seat anymore. Yeah. And flights after that were always fine, and now when I fly, I'm completely fine, because I think what's happened is over time, and this is like testament to Amber as well. When we first started dating, is I realised that these problems were purely just the fear of having that experience again. And now I can think about my breathing and there's no problem at all. I can think about anxiety and there's no problem at all. I feel like half, if not all of the fight was just coming to terms of what was actually happening. I still have no idea what caused that initial panic attack in my room at 6 a.m, waking up. I didn't even have a nightmare. But now, I mean, as sucky and shitty as it was to get those like 3, 4, 5, 6 months of like high anxiety and like not sleeping and worrying and being scared, it's now made me like really aware of anxiety, but to the point now I don't get it anymore, because as soon as I feel it come in, I know what it is, and that's originally what really fucking terrified me, is I didn't know what was going on. I was out of control. Whereas now when I get those feelings come in, I'm like, fuck off. Yeah, like, I know what it is. I know why it's happening. Don't care.
Do you think part of that is down to now having Amber in your life and having someone that understands you? Because I guess in those 2 experiences you were somewhat by yourself. Do you think now having Amber by your side really like helps ground you?
I think originally it really helped, because I had someone who I was like sleeping next to at night, so those like fears of like going to bed dissipated, because I knew if something did happen there was someone there. As now, and it's like I think the initial onset she really helped with it, whereas if it happens now, like there's no drama anymore, because I understand what it is. Yeah. So I don't want to say like I've conquered anxiety or anything stupid like that, but I think I've learned enough about it and experienced enough about it now to completely understand what it is and what it feels like. And I think for me that's half the battle. As soon as I realised that it's just irrational fear, the problem went overnight, and now I almost never get it. And if anything, I would now say that I feel less anxiety than I ever have. Like, I don't really get social anxiety anymore. Or like, if someone says, do you want to come to my party, but you don't know anyone there, like the hour leading up to arriving, you're like, fucking hell, this first couple of hours are going to be a bit fucking awkward. I don't get that anymore, because I know that feeling is just irrational. Yeah. So I think coming out of it, I'm like, oh wow, I don't get it anywhere near as bad anymore. Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that's kind of part of it is just exposing yourself to those things, like that party example. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be going to that party. You're going to have to deal with that. I guess, I mean, you don't have to go, but let's say, either way, you're going to end up going, and you're going to have to deal with it anyway. So it is an irrational fear at the end of the day. And I think
exposure therapy.
Yeah,
it's literally what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I've dealt with. Like, you know how anxious I was before I did my first shoot by myself. And I got to a point where I was like, well, after the shoot, it was very easy for me to say, like, I was going to do that shoot either way, and I just had to kind of get over it. And now I'm, very comfortable doing that kind of thing by myself, because I know at the end of the day, it's a job that needs to be done, and what's the worst that's going to happen? You were going to say something, Dan.
I was going to say, do you think you'll lean in tattoo? What stage in your life was the lean in tattoo? Especially when it comes to like parties and stuff.
Ironically, that was before that whole thing happened. So the lean in tattoo was like the lean in things that scare you, but the anxiety thing was really scary, because you don't know that half the problem is knowing what you're battling, and you don't know what's going on. You don't know what you're battling. So it's like, how the fuck do I lean into that? But I guess in a way I did lean into it and started to understand, and then it was just like maybe way more. I always remember before that happened, I was always like petrified of like I used to say to myself, like, I'd rather like break both legs than have a mental health problem, just because the support you get from the NHS or from the health service is so much more researched in physical than it is mental. So I was worried, like, fuck, if I get like a mental health problem, like, I don't know how much support there is, but like if a bone breaks, doctors have been fixing that for hundreds of years. There's a lot of research and time, and I think there's a lot more care in it than there was back then. So I think, but then after it happened, I remember just thinking, like, fuck, this is it. This is like, and I remember speaking to Hannah Roke about it, who was a client and a friend of ours at the time, and a sentence she said, and it always stuck with me, is like, this is not a life sentence. Like, this feeling you're getting, this thing you're going through with your mental health is not a life sentence. It doesn't have to last forever.
Yeah.
And I remember as soon as I heard that, it just like really calmed me, because like, okay, cool, I'm not going to be like this until I'm 86.
Yeah.
Or when I finally kick it, this isn't my life now. I'm just going through the motions, and this is like a chapter, I guess, of my life. And for me, that spoke wonders.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Joss, what are some of the things that... what are some of your vulnerabilities, would you say? What are some of your things... What are some of the things that you struggle with personally, mentally? I know we've spoke quite a bit before about like imposter syndrome and never feeling like you're doing the right thing, or sometimes you're doing something wrong. You never have confidence in your own ability. I think we all struggle with that, but how does that affect you, do you think?
I think imposter syndrome is a weird one, because it can come at the most random times. Like, you don't see it coming. It can take, like, you see someone doing really cool work on Instagram, and then you're like, fuck, the stuff I'm doing is shit. Like, why doesn't my work look like that? Why can't I edit like that? And I think I don't know what the solution to that is, because I think we all feel it. In whatever world you're in, you're always going to think, there's someone better. But I guess similar to what Ben was just saying, like, the only way I guess I can, and I do deal with that, is just carrying on. Like, okay, that person's done something really good like that. I'm going to try and do the same thing, if not better. Let me try and make something really, really sick, and just get to that point, because at the end of the day, I'm still learning every single day, and me seeing that is just like, oh, cool, they've done it like this, or they're doing this. I'm going to try that now.
It's like a part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like not a hurdle, but it's almost like a stepping stone into creating something forward in your life, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, I'd say that having imposter syndrome and feeling those things is just, it's putting you out of your comfort zone, and that is the best place to learn anything.
So does it come from a fear of not being good enough to do something, or not believing in your ability enough?
Mixture of both,
right?
I'd say. I think I've always struggled to believe in maybe the quality of the work I produce. Maybe just because I feel like I'm very lucky to be where I am, and maybe I haven't earned it, and maybe I don't have, the qualifications or experience to back it up as to why I'm here and why I'm doing this. So why am I ever going to produce work that's that good? Because, I don't have all this knowledge, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. I always think that's a funny thing, and I think a lot of people feel like that. But the one thing that you need to remember, and I saw it on TikTok yesterday, and I think Hannah and I were watching, and we both kind of laughed at it, because it's like we're all doing a job in something that we're all kind of just not winging it, but we're all kind of in a job, working out how to do this job whilst doing a job, whilst everyone else is trying to work out what they're doing in their job.
Yeah.
And it's like no one is a fucking expert at anything. No. We're all always learning. Yeah. And it's like, I think the TikTok was relating to like, I'm going to go to work and figure out how to do my job whilst my boss tries to do their job, and then their boss does theirs. And it's like, we're all just in it to learn, and like, you're in this life to really have a good time, which I think we're quite lucky here, and that's what we're able to do. And you're doing it with a good group of people. I think we're so fortunate to have that. There's people out there, you know, close to me who are in a job that they're not necessarily happy with, and it's like, fuck, you know, you need to reflect on that and think, you know, the position that we're all in, we're very lucky to be in this position. We can all learn off each other, and it's just about like believing in each other. And I think it's like nice, we've got a platform that we can give each other the confidence boost when we needed it and stuff.
100%, but yeah. I think like linking back to what you said, Ben, like this is just another chapter. Like this is just another part of it. You've got to kind of just take a step back and just look, or just gain perspective of everything. Like, okay, I have worked to get to this point, and you know, I'm still young. I'm only at this point. I've still got so much left to do and to learn and to accomplish. Why am I going to beat myself up about this tiny little thing that I can't quite do yet? Let's just keep going and just keep heading forward.
Exactly that.
Yeah. It's really funny because that you two experience that. I don't know if that's more common in creatives, whereas mine's the flip side. I never doubt my ability, and I'm never not confident to do it. But when something goes really right and people are like, oh, well done, you nailed that, I don't have any like, I think, did I do that much? Was that me? Was that all Dan? Has this whole thing been all Dan, and I've just kind of just been fucking doing emails? Like, and that's where my brain goes. Like, I don't really get projects and think, I can't do this. I just do it. I don't worry about being able to do it. But when stuff does go right, or for example,
overanalyze.
Yeah, I don't really like pat myself on the back. I don't really.
You don't take that time to reflect.
No, I definitely reflect. It's more like when I do reflect, I'm just like that wasn't really like down to you though, Ben, or like you didn't really do that much, or like when I might have done loads, you know, or like it was, you know, that they probably would have done that without you, you know, like it's less so of like worrying about doing the job right and more never actually patting myself on the back and saying, yeah, you've done fucking well there, you've nailed that, you know, that was you that did that. That I don't really have those thoughts.
Yeah,
and for the longest time, it was like, you know, especially going into this role as well. It's like it became like how I like fell into the business side, and it was like my path was like so much more unclear than Dan's. Like Dan's like he was the creative, so like he was in charge of the creative. He would be the one doing the creative, video design, photography, everything. That was his thing. And that like we had jobs backed up, and Dan had loads of work to do, and mine was like I was just figuring out what the fuck I was supposed to be doing day to day.
Yeah, you
know, just sometimes I'd be sat there and I remember in desk like twiddling my thumbs, like, what the fuck do I do? You know, I want to support Dan, but I'm not anywhere near skilled enough creatively to like take on anything that he has. And like being like a 22, 23, 24-year-old at the time, it was like trying to work out how to run a business and how to scale. And it was like these questions that I didn't even do business studies at school. I haven't got a degree. I haven't got qualifications. I didn't know. My dad wasn't a businessman. Like I didn't have like this mentor figure saying, go and do this, go and do that. You just have to figure it out along the way.
Do you think being in desk definitely helped kind of steer you and gain knowledge from people and kind of help you build those foundations into Ottr?
It was definitely an incubator, I say. Like being around other people who were business owners made you open your eyes more to it, and took some of the stress or loneliness away because you could ask advice.
Yeah.
But you know, being a business owner, like it's tough. It's definitely takes a mental toll. But no, like I say that, but it's nowhere near as tough as getting up for a 9 to 5 you fucking hate. Because I did that for years, and it's nowhere near as shit as that.
No.
Getting up and going to like a call center, I hated it.
Yeah.
And like the feeling you get of being an entrepreneur and like the stress, like, oh my god, there's 4 salaries to pay for. Me and Dan have mortgages now. Like we really can't fuck up. You know, like there's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
But none of that is as tough as waking up, I think, and going to a shit job.
Yeah.
Day to day with no idea of how to get out.
A lot of people are in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame that people are sadly in a position like that, and sometimes they feel that they are maybe stuck in a rut.
Locked.
What can people do you think, to get out? Because I've said this before to people, and it's, you know, someone who I know who's in that position. It's like, I sometimes think you just need to kind of get out of that 9 to 5 and find like a filler job, you know, even if it's getting out and doing the most basic of jobs, which takes you out of the big responsible job that you're currently in. Go and take a coffee shop job, do something just to reset, take some time, go out, reset, recharge your batteries, feel a little bit more inspiration in your life and less of a drain on your life, and then go for it again. Because it's not like oh, you do that and your life's over. You can go out, you can reset, and then go back to it in a year, or you know, find a new position in a year's time.
I think that's a big thing as well. It's like, you know, you only get one shot at this
that we know of
in the long run. Well, that we know of, yeah. Unless this is all a simulation.
It could be a resurrection cheat code or something.
Cheat code. Up, down, X.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like, I think that's something that I've learned within the last probably 6 months. It's like, what's the point in getting so worked up and, you know, getting worried about things? It's like, we're only here once. What is the point? And I think Charlotte has helped me teach that a lot as well, because she's like quite cutthroat in a way. Like, she did 2 years of a degree at university and then she's like, this is shit, I'm not enjoying this, I'm going to restart uni. And it's like, all right, that is so ballsy. I would never have the balls to do that. Go for it.
Right decision,
like,
though.
Yeah, she's so happy now. She loves the course that she's doing. And I just admire that. I just admire that about her. And I think that is kind of the best way to live day to day.
Pays to be ballsy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you want to get out of that, you need to... The hardest thing, I think, is to find something that you find really inspiring, or something that you find inspiring enough that you're willing to dedicate all of your free time to it, like we did for our evenings and weekends, to the point you can grow. Equally, I think getting out of the job that you hate to do something different, like working in a coffee shop, or just something easy, you know, something that you can get on with and still have enough money to pay all your bills in the interim, as like a stepping stone, is a really, really good idea, because you don't need to have the job if you hate it. Like, if you're not earning loads of money, or you're not learning loads, get out.
Yeah,
it needs to be one of the two. And if it's neither, why are you doing it? Like, at the end of the day, I remember people saying to me, like, are you not really worried about taking the leap into like self-employment, or like scared about what's going to happen? And I remember Gary Vaynerchuk put it perfectly. He's like, what's the fucking alternative?
Yeah,
just like working a job that I hate for the rest of my life because I'm too scared to take the risk. Fuck that.
Yeah,
fuck that. Because I either do it now, or I do it in 5 years and think, why didn't I do this sooner?
Absolutely.
I don't think that about Ottr, though. I think we did it at a very good time. Like, if I did it at 18, we would have fucking crumbled, mate. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's I do think we met Shiv from Juno, who started Juno, obviously the company, the huge freelancing company, and he thinks the whole world is going to go more freelance, and I completely agree, because it's so accessible. I was saying to Amber, like, you know, she said, like, I'd love to start my own company one day, and I always say to her, it's not fucking hard. It's not hard. It's just scary, and it's a risk take. Like, me and Dan are not rocket scientists. We haven't got this algorithm we're following, and we're just like, oh, do this every day and it's going to work out. It's not. It's just, we probably got a bit lucky of choosing the industry because it's a growing industry. We've worked hard. We were really well connected with friends and family, and we didn't like buy loads of stupid gear or pay ourselves stupid salaries early on. We just hustled, you know. And literally, I think if you do that, you're probably going to be all right, as long as you're in a good industry and a good product. And it's like, it hasn't been. You don't need to be a fucking genius. I mean, Amber's got a master's degree. She's more than capable of doing something like that.
Yeah.
I can dream of getting a master's degree. I'd walk out of university. I haven't got the patience for it. But like, running a business, it's just commitment. And if you can commit to someone, you can commit to a business. If you can commit to a relationship and say, I'm never gonna like be unloyal to this person. I'm gonna build a life with this person, move in, and like, if I'm a dick, I'm gonna say sorry. If she's a dick, I'm gonna talk to her about it. Like, and commit to that person daily. That's all a business is. That's mine and Dan's relationship. It's just committing to each other and to the business. It's not hard, I would say. And
that's what you were saying about everyone's just on this path. Mm-hmm. It's like everyone and all these companies and people starting companies and who run companies, everyone's on that journey. It's all started with like a person or a couple of people having an idea and then just growing it, and then everyone's still on that journey. Look at the biggest companies. That's still just started from an idea that someone's had, and then it's just scaled to whatever size. And there's no reason that idea or that thing you want to do can't be that. You've just got to take that leap.
Yeah. I think a lot of my happiness comes from fulfillment. which I get from the role, I get from the job. Whereas I didn't really get that from many jobs. So when I did, it would like, I'd get it at the start of the role, and then after 6 months, it would go, next job. It'll go after 4 months.
The novelty kind of wears off.
It wears off quicker and quicker and quicker before I realised I need to start my own thing. And so I think, like, I get a lot of joy from running my own company, and I think a lot of people would get, all the things all the safety and the good salary and stuff you get from maybe having a corporate job. None of that makes a fucking difference when you can have the freedom and the happiness that comes with being your own person or running your own thing. And I think a lot of people want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people should do it because life's better.
Yeah.
I'm definitely happier. Not that I was necessarily unhappy before, but like life's just so much better now that I run a company. Or like even to be honest, even if I was you, Joss, I'd be really happy because I like this is a cool place to work, I think.
Yeah, and I'm so happy, and I'm extremely grateful every day that I get to come here and just, well, not just dick about, but we dick about, we have a laugh, we make cool shit, and like it's a sick place to work. I'm very, very grateful.
I just wish Max felt the same as you, mate, because like he just, he hates
it's so
it
good
here.
that he hasn't got a microphone right now.
Shaking his head.
Cuts to the third camera, sees him shaking his head.
So I guess the biggest issue that men face is that it's not very easy, or they don't really know how to talk to people about these things that they might be feeling. They don't know how to talk to their mates or family members because they can't really understand or process what's going on. They don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty true. I'm lucky to have supportive men in my life, Ben Lawton being one of them. And I guess it is easier to. It's always easier to kind of talk to your. I don't know. Is it easier to talk to your partners or your male friends? What do you think?
I guess it depends on what it is.
The subject is.
Yeah,
Partners.
Yeah, I'd say partners.
Unless it's about the partner. then it's you guys.
Then you talk to your business partner.
Well, then you just need a vent, don't you?
But yeah, I agree. And I think that kind of comes into an event that happened recently, where we had a shoot in. Where was it? It was in London. Was it a GWR shoot? When I was walking to the train station, I was basically walking to the train station, mate, and I was already quite stressed because I had to drop Stella off at my dad's and stuff, and then get out of my car, and the heavens have just opened, and I've got to walk from like the middle of town all the way down to the train station.
It's bad.
It's like a 15-minute walk, isn't it?
Maybe the most torrential rain that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I had my barber coat on, my Dickies trousers, which are very heavy, and my Finisterre shoes, which I thought were waterproof, and they're definitely not. And I got absolutely hammered by the rain, and walking down to the station, I had an umbrella, luckily. The umbrella was doing nothing, and then out of nowhere, this massive gust of wind just takes the umbrella and just turns the umbrella inside out. And then it almost felt, as soon as that happened, the rain got heavier, and nothing was going right that morning. And as the umbrella turned itself inside out, I took that umbrella and literally two-handed it across like a billboard on the side of the road, and just absolutely lost it. And I think in my head, it might have been a bit of a breakdown, because I completely broke into tears. I have never been so upset in all my life. I just was fucked. My head was screwed, and I was so angry, smashing this umbrella against the wall, against a lamppost, and just I was screaming down the road. I was fuck, I must have said fuck 4 or 5 times, and was like, for fuck's sake, this is the. I was so wet, and I was like, it was the dog shoot, and I was like, I've got to go to the station, and I've got to meet GWR, and I'm fucking soaked, and I was dripping wet, and I was like near the bus stops, umbrella was in pieces on the floor, obviously, and I'm just there's people in the bus stops watching me, and I'm just destroying this thing, and I was thinking there's the hotels about, and I bet people are just watching me getting smashed up, and I was just in tears so much. I was completely beside myself, and then I walked down, and then I got into the Zurich building, got there, hid under cover, and I was I couldn't catch my breath, mate. I was crying that much, and I haven't cried like that in fucking years. And I was just what do I do? I'm soaked, I'm in a right state. So I ended up just calling Ben. I was like, Ben, and you're right, mate. And I was like, And I couldn't talk for like fucking 10 seconds. Yeah. You must have been like, what the hell is that? Because you probably heard me like breathing weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need you to bring...
7:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I need you right now. I need you to bring clothes to me right now. And I was just like... Because as well, I always call you sometimes and like you never pick up. But this one time you picked up, I was like, thank God. And then you like was like, yes, mate, I'll be there in like 2 minutes. Like, give me 2 minutes, I'll be there. And I was like, fuck me. Like, I was so upset, so annoyed. And then like, I think as soon as like you were like, yeah, I'll be there in like 5 minutes straight. I was like, cool. And then like, I kind of set my reset. I was like, cool. Big deep breath. I was like, I now need to get to the train station. Walked to the train station and was like way calmer. Saw Ben's Volvo flying down the road. He had like, I got in the back of the car.
Like a whole H&M fucking clothesline ready for him.
He had this like massive. He had a massive IKEA bag full of clothes.
I don't know what the fuck he wants to wear of mine.
Yeah, take it out of the wall, straight in the bag.
And then just like I was just in the car. I was just like, he was like, "You're right," and I was just like, I think I didn't really say much. I was just like,
I think we both knew. Like, I just knew that you'd obviously had a fucking shit morning and just lost it, and it happens.
Yeah, and I just like put these tight jeans on.
I didn't know what else to give you, mate. I thought I'd give him trousers, but his balls are going to look so big on my trousers. He's got goat bollocks, mate. They wouldn't fit.
I put the shirt and the trousers on, which is very much appreciated. But at that moment, it was so nice to know that, you know, Ben was there for me, and like, I mean, I would not have been in the right headspace to film, and I was almost thinking that I'm just going to sack it in. Like, I can't go on. I can't go to this shoot because I'm embarrassed with how wet I am, first of all, and also just like the state that I was in. And I was at the train station like post crying for like 5 minutes, and I was like, fuck, like, you know, GW are going to turn up and see what state I am. But luckily Ben turned up and like just chilled out in his car for like 5 minutes. I was like, okay, cool. But
your dicky trousers, mate, because I washed it when I got back, they were head to toe drenched. It was like someone had dunked them in a swimming pool. Yeah, that's how wet they were. They would not dry. Like, it's not the thing like, oh, wear them, they'll dry out. They would not dry out.
They're not trousers. They don't dry easy.
They're heavy, mate.
Yeah, they were so heavy, and I had my barber coat on as well, which is so heavy when it's wet too, which isn't waterproof, which made me even more annoyed because I was like, it's supposed to be waterproof, and I'm soaked underneath.
Yeah, especially when you've got like a really nice Gore-Tex jacket at home.
Yeah. So that, I think for me, that was like. And honestly, I think it's probably the only time that I've really felt like not good. Like and I hardly ever get in a bad headspace. I've always been quite lucky in a way, and I think we've spoken in the past, and it's like, you know, and I can honestly say, I never really feel bad. I never really feel, you know, anxious or upset or anything else like that. But at that moment, I think it was a bit of a breakdown, and I just lost it. And I think the support that Ben gave me that day, and then like got on the shoot, and then me and Max had a good shoot, and I spoke about it with Max and stuff, and crazy. But yeah,
do you think that was a build up of anything before the morning as well? Do you think it's just like a general like stress of just life building up?
Yeah, it was probably a build up. I think like
Stella barking like crazy,
mate. Prior to that, I think it was like I was trying to get someone to look after Stella, couldn't figure it out. Thank God, like my dad had the day off work, so he could look after Stella. So it was like this week of like, what are we gonna do with the dog? Oh, Hannah can't have her. She can't do this. And then it's like maybe stuff at home, or I don't know, like, you know, you go at home and then something's not right at home, or like little things. They all build up, and I think it was just a massive, just crescendo of emotion that came out of me.
Yeah,
and got released through the umbrella, two-handed onto a lamppost.
I wish we had that as a clip, mate.
Yeah. As soon as I did it, I was like, I would love to see. There's got to be CCTV somewhere
of you fucking losing your shit.
In my upset state, the first thing I thought to mind was like, there has to be a camera somewhere. I need to see this back.
I remember waking up, mate, and just like listening to the rain, and I remember saying to Amber, because we have a lean-to, we have like a plastic roof at the back, and I remember saying to Amber, like, that rain is so loud. It's really bad at the moment. I'm thinking like, I'm in bed, like, this is great, you know, I can just listen to the rain. And then Dan calls me like in a stress, and I kind of almost knew it must be something to do with the rain because of how bad it was. It's like you instantly link it in your head.
Yeah, either
that or he's like been mugged.
Yeah,
but I thought it's bright out, like no one's gonna mug him at 7:30, and Dan's a bit of a nutcase as the umbrella found out. Yeah. You know, just take the umbrella to them.
Yeah, that was Hannah's umbrella too. Lovely umbrella it was.
Was it actually?
Yeah. I got home that day, I was like,
what did you say to her?
Well, I told her like what had happened. I just told you guys and just said like, yeah, your umbrella is destroyed. It's somewhere in a bin. Like, I just smashed it so hard it's in pieces.
Have you bought a replacement for it?
No. I vouched to never use an umbrella again. They just let me down at my worst time in life.
Yeah. You can get like super strong weathered ones.
Don't believe it. So yeah, I think I guess it comes back to that. I was lucky to have support close to home. Sadly, some people don't have that support. I was watching my favourite TV show, which is Saving Lives at Sea, RNLI, last night, and
you're such a bloke, mate.
I love that show, but sadly, there was a guy in Brighton who was on the edge of a pier, who was not in a good way, and he threatened to jump off, and then he did jump off into the sea at Brighton, and he was in he had jeans, t-shirt, jacket on, everything. And the RNLI were on standby just around the back of the pier, waiting, just in case it happened. And it did happen. They went round to get him, and they were struggling to get him back into the boat. So one of the guys jumped into the water and was holding him up to save him. And apparently the whole time he was just, and you can see it in the video, he was just trying to push his head underneath the water to
die.
To sadly take his own life. But the guy who was in the water with him luckily spoke to him, kind of calmed him down, got him in a better headspace. And then they tried to lift him up in the boat, and they picked him up by his coat, and he wriggled out of his coat and tried to then again try and take his own life. But so luckily that they did calm him down in the end. They got him in the boat, they took him back to the station, spoke to him, and when he left, he was in a better space. I think he got the ambulance back, but since then he's gone back for a coffee and stuff with the
that's cool
with the boat crew and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess at times in life you do feel like you might not have support, but there are support services out there, which are only growing. These companies are growing, and there's more places to get support, like the Men's Mental Health Swindon page and stuff, where there's the individual companies that have that. So
we'll have some links in the description of the podcast if anybody feels they need some services, or some services that you think you need to send forward to a friend or family member.
Yeah,
including Ben's remote H&M clothing rack.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah.
Make sure
you get yourself in a pickle. I can drive down with some Charles White shirts or some H&M jeans. And
that was a Charles White shirt I had, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I didn't know what else to give you. I was like, just bought a selection.
What as an overshirt?
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually put some really nice stuff in there, which you didn't choose, and I was a bit like, definitely what I would have worn.
I was just going for the dry stuff.
Yeah,
the dry stuff.
Yeah. Josh, you ever lost it before?
I've never lost it. I was thinking as you were telling that story, I feel like I've always been quite good with anger, and I've never really let go in a sense like that. And I maybe it's just a case of I've never been in a situation where I've needed to. I think probably the angriest I've ever got is just a little bit of road rage when someone's cut me up or something like that, and I've just whacked on the horn for a bit longer than usual. But road rage is normal, isn't it? I guess. But I've never really let go like that because of anger.
I think we all get road rage.
Yeah,
it's bad, isn't it?
But it's good. We need to make sure we just remove that. Be the better person. Stay calm. Stay collected.
When I worked at the police,
stay loaded.
When I worked at the police, it used to happen. They used to call it red mist.
Yeah,
it's the name for it. It's scientifically researched and stuff. And if an officer is pursuing a vehicle for whatever reason, and the pursuit gets called off, that officer then has to pull over for 15 minutes.
Oh wow, really?
And sit stationary, because if they obviously come off the pursuit and carry on with their job, they're still in this super worked up, angry state that you get in the car, and that you have to pull over and sit there for 15 minutes doing nothing, just so that, because they call it red mist descends upon over your eyes. We've all had it.
Yeah,
you just you go from being completely normal to batshit crazy, saying words that your mum has never heard you say before. The shit that comes out of your mouth from road rage is disgusting.
Yeah,
and I think as you get older, you just learn to fucking not really care as much.
There's no point.
Nah, you become aware of it, don't you?
Yeah.
It's still a really weird phenomenon, though, how angry and how quickly you can get, even the calmest people. Yeah. My dad's always been good at that. I remember my dad, I'd always be in the car on holiday with my dad, and people would cut him up, and he just wouldn't do anything. And I used to think, what a fucking pussy, why isn't he doing anything? I used to fucking lean over and beep the fucking horn, fuck you, dickhead, But now I got older, I thought, if anything, that's a fucking skill. Just not care.
It's so much nicer when you see someone else get angry and you think, why are you bothering? You're using so much energy and you're getting so worked up for no reason. Really, at the end of the day, I mean, unless it's super dangerous, but if it's something, just a minor inconvenience, sometimes you get people beep at you and it's like, oh, come on, mate, I wasn't really that close or whatever like that. It's just, I think people use a lot of energy and take out a lot of anger in the wrong situations.
What other topics do you have there?
Well, I wanted
on your laptop.
I wanted to go into maybe fears I feel like we've probably discussed that a bit, but are there any kind of fears of just life fears that you have to combat every day?
Max bringing a Sony camera into the office. Pippin Donuts going under.
Oh, God.
Wagamama's going under.
Light bulbs going out.
Light bulbs going
out.
I guess I wouldn't. I'll lead that one then.
Go on, Joss. I fear nothing.
I fear nothing. And it's, I guess, quite a heavy one to jump into, but I think my biggest fear would be death and dying and getting to a point where I feel like I haven't accomplished anything, and then that's it. You know, I think I have a constant fear of maybe just like waking up one day and, okay, boom, you've now got a life-changing illness, you've got X amount of weeks to live. That's it. It's like, oh shit, okay.
A death sentence, basically.
I'm 21. I've done what feels like fuck all right now.
What do you think you should have achieved by now?
I don't know, but it's just that what if tomorrow you're told you've only got X amount of time to live? It's I don't know, it's hard to process, and I think I try to combat that with just living very intentionally, and you know, it's very cliche, but living every day as if it's your last and trying to just take in every moment. But I think I've had it maybe once before where it's almost crippling, having that kind of fear of death, and it's not always just on me, it's about death happening to other people. And maybe like, you know, what if my parents die and I haven't told them I love them for the last time, or I haven't seen them, and then, you know, there's some days where it's like, oh, I haven't texted my mum today, and she hasn't actually texted me because I haven't texted her back from yesterday yet, for all I know that she might be in hospital right now. And I think I don't know how to deal with that, because my mind spirals very quickly into things like that. It's like, oh shit, I haven't heard from my mum today. Oh fuck, she could be in hospital. She might have just got in a car crash this morning. Oh right, I'm going to text my mum now.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like...
You never text me that.
It's that constant, like, what if of like, oh, I haven't done this thing, or like, what if this happens and then I've only got this amount of time. It's never like, oh, you know, in 60 years you're going to die. You know, that's a given. That's going to happen. We're all going to die one day. It's more so like having a sudden stop to everything, and everything kind of just being put on hold because it has to be.
Are you scared of dying, or are you scared of losing the control?
Losing control.
So you're scared of having something that's going to come in and change everything, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But the idea of death.
It's not like I'm scared of something horrific happening and the pain of that. It's more so this has happened, and I haven't done all this other stuff I wanted to do with my life. I haven't seen all these people. I haven't done all these other things that I want to do.
FOMO.
In a way, yeah, FOMO. And I think, in a way, that was put into perspective. When I was 15, I lost my granddad on my mum's side, and while it wasn't sudden, because he had cancer for a while and he deteriorated, and we kind of knew that his time was coming to a close, but I think kind of arrogance of a 15-year-old boy, I kind of didn't want to acknowledge that I knew what was happening. So it was like, my granddad's in bed, you know, and I'm like to my mum, oh, I just want to go out and play with my friends, because I don't want to sit around a bed and watch, you know, this head of the family just disappear and not be the character that I've always known. And then when that happened, I didn't know how to process it. And then I remember maybe 6 months later, I was like, fuck, I haven't seen him in a while. Oh my God, I'm never going to see him again because he's dead. And no matter what I do or what I want to do, there's no way that I can see that person again. I think that's kind of where that fear comes from, of like, every time I say goodbye to someone, I kind of treat it as this could be the last time I say goodbye to this person. So,
do you think about it a lot then?
Yeah, I'd say a crippling amount, because like every morning I leave for work, I squeeze Charlotte a little bit harder, and then it's like, all right, I'm going. Oh wait, I'm just going to come back and hug you again because I'm worried that I might go get in a car crash on my way to work. Then I hug my mum, and I hug her a little bit longer because it's like I might go home and then I might get into a car crash and I might not see you again. So yeah, it's a tricky one to deal with, and I know that's a big, heavy topic to put on the podcast and to you too, but
it's nothing on spotted dick. No, I get what you mean, mate. It's more. I used to feel like that. I used to be fear, like think like, oh my god, what if I get cancer? What if I get diagnosed something terminal or something happens? That I used to worry about it. I used to get in a state of worrying about it, and now I kind of just. I think I've just accepted it. I've accepted the fact that could happen, but that maybe that's God's or the universe's plan, or maybe it's supposed to happen like that. At the end of the day, I just need to be happy with what's happening and what I've done, and not wasting time. And if I went now, at least I can. I got engaged. I ran a business for a bit. I had a bit of fun. Met loads of dogs. Like I've done. I've had a way better life than arguably 50% of the world population, just because of how privileged I've been to be born where I am. And it's like, it's not so bad. And I think the idea, I think we need death. Otherwise, why would you be motivated to do anything?
Yeah, there's no weight to anything if you don't fear death.
There's no, it's completely true. It motivates you to get on and do stuff. And when you're young, I think when you're pre-20, you don't give a fuck, because you're just I'm invincible. It's taken so long to get to 20. It's going to take ages to get to 85, whatever the average is. But then you get into 25, and it's those 5 years went a lot faster than I thought they would. And 25 to 30 is going really quick. I'm 28 next year. I'm still young as fuck, but every year the years are getting faster.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The idea of having complete darkness and there's nothing before, nothing after is terrifying, but equally. I think I believe in the fact that your souls live on, but you're just having a human experience at this point. I don't know what happens after. Maybe I turn into a bowling ball.
Reincarnation into a bowling ball.
Fucking anything can happen. But I think it's there's something quite sweet about death, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't really get upset when people die.
Yeah.
Which Amber has said is really weird and maybe slightly psychotic, but
yeah,
I don't really. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm accepting of it. If Dan died, I'd be distraught.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I think I'd accept it very quickly.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'd like to think I would. Maybe if fucking Amber died, mate, I don't know. I might crawl into a pit and turn into a leprechaun. I don't know. Or hit the bottle really hard. I think I always worry about my parents and stuff, for example. I don't look at it of my parents in their mid-50s, my dad's nearly 60. I don't look at it of they've probably got 20, 30 years left. I look at it I see them on average 4 or 5 times a year. Times that by 30, that's how many times I'm going to see them before they die, likely. Maybe there's more or less visits based on when I have grandkids, but that's as much time as I get with them. Once that's up, that's gone. So I look at visits now rather than years left. And equally, my dad could get cancer tomorrow. He's at the age where he's getting more and more at risk, so does my mum. So I don't really worry about myself dying. It's more family, I guess.
Yeah.
Or Dan. Something happening to Dan. I can just see him doing I could feel we'll be out on a night out somewhere Bristol or Bath, and you see some scaffolding, and he's wants to go up and do some pull-ups, and he falls off at 8 feet, breaks his back, he's in a wheelchair, can't work anymore, and then we just slowly stop talking to each other. Those things could happen.
Yeah.
Not that I'm wishing for that, but Dan does do some crazy shit when he has a few drinks, don't you, Dan?
I do.
There we go. So there we go.
It's funny. It's interesting because Hannah's just like that.
Yeah.
She's really she overthinks the hell out of it too, and I'm not. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's my upbringing. I don't know if it's because I've never suffered a big loss.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's something to do with it.
That could be it for me too, I think.
I think for you with your grandfather, and then Hannah sadly lost her horse in a very tragic accident. When it's not until something big happens in your life that you then realise, shit, this is real. Things can happen very, very quick. in a flash, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's obviously maybe massively down to yours. And then you've also got the guilt inside, and you think to yourself, oh, as a 15-year-old kid, why didn't I put more effort into seeing my grandfather when he was in bed? But you shouldn't blame yourself for that, because you're a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You, along with millions and billions of other kids, would be in the exact same like headspace.
Yeah.
And I think I think it was my uncle, he passed away, and he was in London, and I think I went to see him once. You know, he's a bit of a distant relative, but it's like, still, I went to see him once, and I think even that was probably, I think my dad was like, oh, you know, I really want you to come with me, and I was probably giving resistance because I was a young kid who was wanting to go out and play and do this kind of stuff. Yeah. But, you know, you can't hold yourself, you know, accountable and like make yourself feel bad for not doing that when you were younger, because you were younger and you were in a different place. If it happened today, you'd be completely different.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know, and it's just about, like you said, you know, you make sure you live every day to its full potential, and you do. And also, you shouldn't feel guilty about, oh, you know, I'm 21, and if I had a life-changing condition tomorrow morning, I'd feel like I've not achieved anything, because you've achieved a shitload.
Yeah,
and most people have. So, like, there's no reason for you to feel anything guilt or bad about what you've done in life. The only thing you can do is move forward and make a more of a positive impact in your life.
Yeah.
You like you say, hug your loved ones more. Call up your parents. You know, call up your nan. Like, I'm terrible for it, but like, my nan, she's the only grandparent that I've got left. I think I see her at Christmas. She lives in Swindon.
Yeah.
I see her at Christmas. Probably see her on my birthday. But I make a terrible effort. And I need to change that, and I have been making more of a conscious effort recently. By when Hannah and I go to, like, we go out on a walk, and we always call it every Sunday now during a walk. It's just making that call, you know, because, you know, sadly for my nan, she's disabled, she's in a wheelchair, and she's in a care home, and she literally, I think during lockdown, all she saw was a carer during that whole time.
Yeah,
and still today, I think they're a bit more, you know, they're less COVID conscious, but like, she's still not seeing many people. And it's like, if you have got a loved one like that, just like give them a call. Yeah, you know, definitely don't take your friends and your family for granted. Yeah, make the effort to make more of a you know, connection with them.
I think that's again something that I've learned, or I've learned to deal with better recently. It's like, I might have these fears, but if that means that, you know, I hug these people a bit harder and I text these people a bit better and a bit more frequently, then I know I'm doing the most I can to, you know, live more intentionally. And it's like, and I think I'm quite bad for it in a sense where maybe, you know, say me and Charlotte have had a falling out about something. I don't want to fall out about something for long, or, you know, I go to work and we've had an argument, or we go to bed and we've had an argument or something like that, because it's like, you know, tomorrow's never guaranteed. So I don't want the last moment with you to be this bitter, horrible moment. I want it to be, let's fix this and solve whatever problem this is and move on. And I think that's what I try to kind of do constantly now. It's just like, something happens, let's just move on. Let's just keep going, because there's no point getting worked up about these things. And Charlotte, you know, she might, and I think it's probably a normal thing, she may be angrier or have these feelings for a bit more longer than I would, but it's just because I want to get it dealt with. Let's move on. Where she's like, no, I'm still annoyed about this thing, even though we've settled it, which is like a completely fine, normal human reaction. But I just want to put it
bury
it.
Yeah, and
let's carry on. Yeah. There's no point.
The one of the quotes that my mum always said to me was, "You should never sleep on an argument."
Yeah, I've heard that as well. And you definitely shouldn't.
No. So yeah, well, it's good that you've told us that, Joss.
Thank you.
I hope we've helped you.
You have, definitely.
Good.
I like to sleep on a bed.
How would you physically sleep on an argument?
I like to sleep on you.
Podcast
Lovely.
Gone sexual. Gone wrong.
I guess that was my fear. Do you two have any fears that you want to go into?
Maybe like, well, poltergeist. Supernatural, but that's not really on topic for this one. That fucks with my mental health sometimes. Amber has to sleep by the door in our bedroom, because I just sometimes will just be like, oh, there's a ghost. Amber, and, you know. Yeah. It's completely irrational, which is really illogical for me, but it's just who I am.
Quick fire round?
Quick fire round, yes. Poltergeist is my fear.
Things you dislike? Max.
Just kidding. I love him.
Quick.
I love him.
When you say don't like, what do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
So I don't like cling film.
Is this on brand for the podcast?
just spicing it up. Come on, quick fire, Joss. Things you don't like.
About myself or in general?
Just Joss. Hit it. For
my body.
My body! Slow drivers.
Slow drivers, good shout. Queues. I hate queues.
Avocados, because I'm allergic.
Central London.
The essential oils thing in the office, it stinks.
We can check that out,
can we?
The fact Dan hates things but doesn't tell me about them until we're on a podcast.
Nice. Okay, cool. That's the quickfire round over with.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I guess to summarise this podcast, if we're to tie back into kind of what we've said and summarise it, it's the fact that you should go out and seek help, and if you should speak to someone. Like going back to the anxiety problem I had, the best thing I did was to speak to someone, because that was like, it helped so much to break down what was happening by just having a conversation and like admitting what was going on. And like weirdly, I think this is like if you imagine like mental health problems and you have like their secret weapon is they make you feel guilty or ashamed about what you're going through, and there should be no guilt or shame with that. And like getting help or speaking to someone is like, sometimes that's all you really need to do. And you'll be surprised how much that will actually help you.
Yeah, I think you need to remember that if you've got a harder outer shell, you've got a softer inner shell. We're all soft inside, so just let your heart out. Tell your friends. Maybe not let your heart out, that might be a bit much, but just, know that your hard outward persona is nothing if you are not feeling good inside.
Exactly.
Share your feelings and other things with your friends and family.
Wow, eloquently put down.
I can actually put a bit more of a summary like we used to do. Fireside summary. After this, Joss, finish it, and then I'll go into a summary.
And never keep anything bottled up or inside, because it's only going to get worse. And having people in your life that you're comfortable with, you should be able to talk about these things and these feelings. So yeah, make sure it is something that you can talk about with the people in your life.
To quote RuPaul, how the hell are you going to love somebody else if you can't love yourself?
Oh,
amen.
Nice. We should just finish on that.
Probably wrong, but no, I think it's like, how the hell are you going to love somebody else if you can't? No, how the hell are you? No, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Okay, Queens.
That's good.
Shimmy.
Shimmy.
Give us your summary, Dan.
All right.
A Wolf Owl outro.
Cutting some fireplace music, please. There was once a big rhinoceros rolling around the jungle. Now, we all can relate to a rhinoceros. Well, we can't relate to it, but we can all truly understand that a rhinoceros is a big animal, Joss. It's got a huge horn on the front of its head, and it's quite an alpha animal.
Yeah.
But then again, there was also a small... What should we say? What's a small animal, Joss?
Duck.
No. There was a small duck, actually, in the Amazon rainforest with the rhinoceros. Now, the small duck and the rhinoceros were great friends, much like Ben and I. And they were cruising about. And one day, the rhinoceros just went up to the little duck and said, "Do you know what, duck? I'm not feeling too good today." And the duck was a bit taken back by it, really, because the duck is only a small animal, and the rhinoceros is huge. And do you know what that tells me, Joss?
Go on.
Is no matter what size, no matter what you look like, no matter what animal you are never too big to open up and share your problems with a friend, like the rhinoceros did with the duck. And you know what, Joss?
Go on.
After that conversation the duck had with the rhinoceros felt amazing. He felt free. He felt a little bit better in himself. He had a clearer headspace. I'm not sure he's still the rhinoceros. He's still a big, giant animal. But him and the duck shared a nice little moment that time. And I think by opening up and sharing his problems, he made his life a little bit better. And that means that you should also open up to me. Because I'll be your rhinoceros any day of the week.
Thank you, Rhino Dan.
I couldn't think of anything else.
Mental health fixed.
Yes, be the rhino.
Did you start with a rhino and not know where to go?
I didn't know what the secondary animal should be. I thought, what other animals would be in the Amazon rainforest? A rhinoceros is even in the Amazon rainforest?
I don't think so.
No, they're on the plains of Africa.
But it doesn't matter. The story still stands.
Well, I'm sure there's like ducks and rhinos don't really chill together either.
True.
Do they?
At the watering hole, I would say they probably do, to be fair.
You
It's
think
the
so?
moral of the story.
After the rhino, I thought instantly of Tigger.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
On it,
can see the connection.
jumping
there.
around on his tail.
Tigger the rhino. All right. Thank you for listening.
Can
to
you
this
do your
episode.
Queen quote again, please?
If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Good night, sisters. Thank you, RuPaul.
Thank you, everybody.